afternoon, Professor Riley. The topic that I will be talking to you today about is the domestically, systemically important bank, U.S. Bancorp, and the new rules and regulations that have been implemented within the past few years. These new rules and regulations have come from the market crisis of 2007-2008, in which Lehman Brothers collapsed and AIG had to be bailed out by the Federal Reserve. From these new regulations, a new classification has been given to some banks called domestically, systemically important banks. U.S. Bancorp, the fifth largest bank in the country, has been categorized as a D-SIB, and as such, must comply with new federal rules regarding capital ratios and financial plans. These designations stem from the Basel III Accords. The goal of these accords was to decrease leverage and the overall amount of risk that institutions could undertake. In addition, this would help increase liquidity in the financial sector and create a system that is, in theory, better able to withstand a similar crisis. In the United States, these guidelines and recommendations take form in the shape of the Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act, also known as Dodd-Frank. Janet Yellen, the current Fed chairwoman, has stated that the key purpose of the capital surcharge is to require the firms themselves to bear the costs that their failure would impose on others. In practice, this rule will confront these firms with a choice. Either they must hold substantially more capital, reducing the likelihood that they will fail, or else they must shrink their systemic footprint, reducing the harm that their failure would do on our financial system. Either outcome would enhance financial stability. These banks, including U.S. Bank, must undergo these stress tests that are conducted to evaluate estimated projected revenues, losses, reserves, and pro forma capital levels of a firm. Afterwards, the results are incorporated into the emergency resolution plans to help the institutions better prepare and plan for adverse market conditions. This stress test is comprised of three separate scenarios: a baseline, an adverse, and a severely adverse market scenario. U.S. Bank did exceedingly well in these three separate market scenarios, outpacing well-known institutions like J.P. Morgan Chase and Morgan Stanley. The Federal Reserve stress tests play an important role in helping institutions plan for unforeseen market events, and is a step in attempting to prevent another crisis from occurring. Lehman Brothers and other firms forced major reform to occur within the financial industry, and as a result of the 2007 crisis, banks are now much better equipped to deal with adverse market conditions. Thank you.